Well, hello guys, in this video we are going to talk a little bit more about why they call these radios legendary radios. So, of course, I'm kind of rich man, so I have 3 of these, and now you will see what is happening on internet when they talk about these radios. I'm gonna show to you a couple of websites. So yeah, I'm gonna do that with this approach right here, because I want you to see all the details, like I'm not doing any kind of montage or something. So this is depotmilitary.com radio, and they are selling for $286. They are selling the exactly same radio, but it is channel version, of course. So it's a channel version for that price, which is, I think, a little bit high and not reachable for casual hams in most of the countries in Eastern Bloc, let's say. So what are they selling is a channel radio, VHF 16 channels, not as mine do have trunking capabilities and 100 channels, display and full keypad. And they're selling this stuff without radio battery, but they do have this kind of setup for a helmet. One more time, this is depotmilitary.com, and probably I will not be able to show you some very sensitive images from specific military operations where these things were used. They are down there at the end of this advertisement, how to say this in English, sorry. In any case, this is depotmilitary.com. So yeah, let's actually scroll down until we reach Russian language. They say that this garnitura, which is this piece, this is documentation for it. Garnitura головная тактическая DC8I1 0F1. So basically this is instrukция по эксплуатации, which means, well, probably you get that instruction for exploitation. Now, okay, so maybe this is interesting because it tells about price when we talk about 16 channel radio without additional stuff. So they say that this radio was used in combination with a headset, which is specific one. This is that headset. I find it on eBay for a very sensitive price, almost $4,000, but this is for helmet. And there are a couple of images here, images from Beslan operation, and that is sensitive stuff, so I'm not going to get into that. So this is K63 bulletproof armor helmet for Russian Specnaz FSB, basically for Alpha and Wimple, Wimple units. Now this is a 16 channel version, or again from internet. This is some tweet from Teletech services in central region Singapore. Basically they are saying that there are two names for this. This is what I have, basically Hotel X-Ray 290, and this is also that stuff, but it's totally different model for maritime stuff, for ships. Maybe something you want to know because you're gonna run into this this kind of stuff on internet. Now again, this is a 16 channel version, and a little bit better picture. Russian FSB, this is from Black Ops Toys, but basically that's pretty much that helmet we were talking about. And this is the Russian website cqhem.ru, and they're saying here, let me zoom a little bit. This is the image, of course, a VHF trunking version, exactly like mine is a UHF. So basically the interesting thing is that it is done based on military standard 810, which is, as I figure it out on Wikipedia, where is that thing? This is standard of United States Department of Defense, and that's interesting. And also Russians, where is that thing? Russians also, let me find that line, Ministry of Internal Affairs of Russian Federation also accepted this radio to be used for communication network inside the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So basically all those special services and special units can use this radio into that period and not worry about different kind of stuff that they can find in cheaper radios. So yeah, American standard and Russians said probably, you know, if it's good for Americans, it's good for us, for Ministry of Internal Affairs, so we are going to use it. Now this website is radiovнимание.ru, radiovнимание.ru, and let me find that original stuff. Okay, so there are variants for normal operation and variants to be used where there is a danger of sparks, and yeah, there is a 16 channel conventional radios, ideal for law enforcement agencies, blah blah blah, and this one that I have is Smart Trunk 2 Omni compatible version, so I'm lucky, I guess. So it was produced in Japan, and it is 5 watt variant for VHF, 4 watt for UHF. Light is, I mean, how heavy it is 317 grams, but if you pre-pack it with Baofeng UV82 cells, that thing will be even lighter, so you will not even feel it in your pocket. Now this thing do have track of options, 100 channels, DTMF authentication, not authentication, but ID, okay, caller ID. And interesting thing is there is a cloning over the air. In that time that was like miraculous stuff. Cloning over the air to multiple units on a dedicated channels. I found that into the documentation. And there is a CSQ which is reception based on 3-digit code. ANI, with what I don't know how to pronounce. It's basically transmission of personal station identification when switching on the transmitter on or off, and so on and so on. So this is on some Russians, mostly websites, you're gonna find information about programming, but because my version is unlocked, I can do that without computers. So yeah, this is some old CRT computers, interface cable, 6 to 12 volts, a power supply, and basically you see what's happening here. Exactly my version. And yeah, most of the stuff you're going to find are on Russian forums, right? Radioscanner.ru. Radioscanner.ru, there is a lot of options there, documentation, probably some other stuff. And yeah, I was talking about digital trunking systems. I don't know what this Smart Trunk 2 is, but basically it's some kind of trunking. I just use conventional stuff because I'm like a normal radio amateur. Now the interesting thing here, when you read documentation, you will find somewhere down there that I don't know if you can see this, but there is just a second, a standard HX290, and there is data about it. What they say that this radio that I own can work into as a Omni feature set included. So these Omni features are like multi-channel banks, multiple PTT groups, smart scan, multiple receiving groups, radio kill, and PC programming. So basically I need to research about this stuff more, but I'm kind of happy because I got these radios relatively cheap, and right now I'm discovering what they are capable of doing. So guys, I kind of can consider myself a little bit lucky because I got these. Very cool stuff, you know. Now, I don't know how to work with trunking systems, how to activate that. It's not my primary concern. I just use it on PMR and on ham channels. It works for me, you know. But the cool stuff is that you can clone it over the air, you can fully program it through keyboard, you don't need a PC, well at least this mine version, and these radios do have a kind of interesting history related to Russian FSB groups and special forces attack teams like Alpha, and what was the other name, like Wimple, something like that. So yeah, maybe this is kind of information you need if you decide to search for these on the market. Interesting history, definitely it will rise collective, how to say this, collectionist value, or value when you buy it, if you wanna use it or even sell it. There is a history behind these radios. Now, for sensitive reason, I cannot show you some information and some photos. You can find that on internet and on YouTube related to Beslan, but you know, it's not for this video, that kind of sensitive stuff. Just type Beslan Russia on a Google and you will find that operation that was in that period of time. An unfortunate event, but there you go. So this is what special services do. They need to protect, if they can, in the shortest amount of time, if they are able, and sometimes you are not able because of multiple reasons. So yeah, a little bit of chit chat about these radios. Most of the stuff you're going to find online are from Russian websites. So if you are going to find something, you do have Google Translate, and if nothing else, then at least you have useful links, documentation on the Russian forum and stuff like that. So there will be more videos about how I use these things for different kind of hotspots and maybe even data transmission, because if they are used on a digital trunking systems, that probably means I can experiment a little bit with transmission of some form of digital data, because I read down there that they are mentioning modems 9600 bits per second, something like that. Anyway, I can use them like ordinary full analog modems, something like that, like a normal ham operation RTT or PSK or something like that. The interesting thing, I didn't learn if there is option to activate Vox of these, but I don't care about that because they're mostly used using helmets. So when you use helmets, you have dedicated PTT, and you don't wanna, you know, in a gunfight or something like that, to be your radios to be on Vox. So this is probably why they don't have Vox in build. But there is a dedicated piece that you stick in a radio that there is a Vox, hardware Vox there. And no Vox for helmets, but that's a different piece of equipment that you need to get to activate Vox. So overall I'm kind of happy, you know, I have very rare find. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next one. Please subscribe to the channel, there will be more videos like this. Okay? Ciao ciao.